Hey, this is Bino. I wanted to talk about the video that I'm uploading here. A friend of mine named Doug Wright invited me to help out at Mount Sac at their Arboriculture class. At the end of it, they do a climbing class for the students. So anyways, he invited me to help out Philip Ruiz, who went to the college and actually goes back about every year to help the students when they're completing. So give them an opportunity to feel what it's like to climb. It was really cool. But there wasn't just a climbing class. I thought that's all it was going to be, but no, Philip and Doug actually did a full-on class on safety, climbing equipment, inspection. It was really cool. I'm a little bummed because I didn't get the climbing portion. I only got the class portion and I ran out of battery. So anyhow, that's what this video is about. Mount Sac Arboriculture class. Really cool. You can take arboriculture, and I think you can even get certified through them for an arboriculture certificate. It's kind of cool. Anyhow, I'll leave the description and stuff for Mount Sac. On the description, I'll leave Mount Sac's information. All right. Enjoy the video. Ooh, just a little over. Hey, that was a lot better though.
Yep.
Headache, stand clear. Beautiful. It looks like you got it. Cool, got it. It's probably over those two branches again though, eh? But it looks like you got where you needed to be. Right?
Over that tree.
You get it? Yeah, it looks like it might fall into place. Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. I would let it drop and yank it, huh? Cool.
On that side, you don't want to go back. Well, pull it, see if we can get it off that branch.
There you go.
There we go.
Oh, perfect. Now you're gonna run it.
Actually, that's fine. I'll pull it up the other way.
With the other side.
Yeah, I gave away like 6 of those the other day. I don't know why.
Cool. Oh, that's a good one. You keeping your little clip, or did it stay on the...
That's mine.
Oh. I don't want to give it to him.
No, go ahead. Keep it as well. We'll keep it.
I think this is a small end here.
I think I died last week.
In
Chipper. 16-inch branch came down and crushed him. I got the actual picture of him in the tree. He's been with the company 7-8 years.
Wow.
If you want, Bino can go set the tree up. arborists here, none of us inspected the base of the tree or any of the trees.
Really?
Just go straight up into it. Right?
But what if you rest that on your shoulder like that, kind of? Oh, you want to switch directions?
Like I said, I find it easier just to put my knee.
Woo! That was it.
Yosemite. Fresno, Yosemite. So I'm still here. To myself, I actually went here. Loved it. It was great. You know, it actually helped me in my career. So we also, you know, other people that have gone here. We just hired a new person like myself who does training on the East Coast, who actually went to our sister school, Cal Poly. Slow though, we won't hold that against him. There's Jeff over there. So you can see that the schooling is great. The company I work for is called Brightview. Used to be Valleycrest and Brickman. A little of the background on myself. I'm a certified arborist, certified tree worker, TCI, a CTSB, a certified tree care safety professional. I'm a CPR trainer. I might go on and on. I run the North American tree climbing competition. I've been a judge for the international for 17 years, so I travel and know stuff from all over the world. I run the Western Chapter Certified Tree Worker exam for the past 17, 18 years. I worked at Disneyland from here. What's that? More than that. Is it? And I won the Western Chapter Tree Climbing competition. So I have a lot of stuff going on. My current job is I'm technical training director for Brightview. So my job and Jeff's job is we travel around the country to our tree care branches and do nothing but training and making sure that the guys have everything they need. We're not the safety people. We're the ones that make sure when the safety people come that our guys are doing everything correctly. We teach a lot of classes: chipper safety, chainsaw safety, aerial rescue, which has to be done annually, CPR, first aid, and we teach a lot of stuff. Like I said, from here, I started out dragging rugs for my father-in-law, and then I went to work at Disneyland because I needed my kids were little, I needed insurance. So I went to work for Disneyland, and worked my way up through there to the arborist there, and then moved to Santa Anita Racetrack because it was nighttime work and didn't want to work at night anymore. And then went to work for Valleycrest and became what I do now. Up until January, I was the only one that did it. And I traveled 41 weeks out of the year all over the country. So with Jeff's help, hopefully I can stay home a little more. So that's a little bit about me, a little bit about Doug. Now you're gonna have to excuse me. I'm a little slow. I'm off my medication. So I work for Bishop Company. I've been there 22 years. I'm the general manager. We sell all the tree climbing equipment. I hang around with him doing the judging. I've been doing that for probably 15 years. Tree worker exam. Certified arborist, certified tree worker. I've also brought Bino, who's a city arborist from the city of Cerritos, who's going to get up next.
Oh, really?
Oh,
I'm going to get okay.
Yeah, I'm Bino Hogan. I work right now. I work for the city of Cerritos. I'm the city of Cerritos arborist. I started tree care back in the late 80s. I worked for a place called Knott's Berry Farm. I was there for 18 and a half years. Before I left there, I turned into a certified arborist. And then I found a job at the city of Downey, which was kind of cool. At Downey, I also obtained a certified tree worker specialist. And then I got a utility specialist through the ISA. And then I found a job at Cerritos. And at Cerritos, then I turned into a municipal specialist. totally love tree work. It's something that's like a passion for me. I'm enjoying this today that they invited me to help you guys out. It'll be kind of a fun day. I think total I've been in tree work for about 30 years now.
One thing that we super emphasize is that, does everybody know what the ANSI standards is? American National, okay. Safety.
Quiz them on it.
Huh?
Quiz them on it.
What is it?
American Natural Standards Institute?
Yes.
What
pertains to tree work.
which one? What number?
ANSI Z133.1.
Perfect. Also, we're going to get you guys up here. The standards are super important to follow. They were designed, I can't remember the exact year, I remembered it the other day, 64, I believe. A gentleman, yeah, 64, a gentleman died in the tree care industry. And his mother decided that there needs to be standards. So she started working on this project to build the ANSI standards, which was came out in 1967. Since then, they're built on every 5 years. How the industry changes and has safety things come up. Everything we do, it's like the tree care Bible. I mean, you have to follow the rules, otherwise people get hurt. They're to keep everybody safe. If we didn't have them, you know, things would be the wild, wild west, and there would be injuries all over the place. As it is right now, this number sticks in my head because I just found out about it the other day, is in the tree care industry in 2017, there were 187 deaths in the United States alone. That's 2.5 a week. That's including, you know, just doing tree work. It could be mom and pops, it could be people at home. I currently had a worker die Sunday doing a job on the side where the top of the tree busted out and crushed him and killed him in Tampa, Florida. So I'm pretty devastated about that. He was a great worker, you know, good friend. But it continually happens, and we need to work harder on keeping everybody safe. Right now, this is the most dangerous job in the world. You know, learning, and Jeff and I and all these guys that just live on teaching people and helping, hopefully helps and you know, creates a ripple effect to people that, you know, you throw a rock in the water, it ripples out to you guys learn something, feed it back to someone else when the ripple comes back into a new person or something that you've learned. We want to keep that going so, you know, people stay safe. So, I don't know, we want to start on... Yeah, I'll let you go ahead and... mostly no good. Like this. This is stuff that we've taken away from people.
Wow.
Okay, when climbing ropes first came out, there were 3-strand. Everybody knows 3 strands. Actually, when they came out, they were hemp, so it was a natural fiber. Now all your climbing lines are going to be synthetic because it's easier to control, because natural fibers is too hard to test every fiber. 3-strand was great. It was good. It was easy to grip. The only drawback was it twisted a lot. I probably can't do it on this one. It would hockle, so it would get a hockle stuck in it as you're coming down. Back in the 80s, they came out with the new stuff, which is a 12-strand, which is a braided. 12-strand braided is going to be lighter. The problem with the 12-strand braided is it's going to be a hollow braid. So what ends up happening is it flattens out. So then they came out with, they put a core inside of it to keep it round. From that point, they jumped up to a 16-strand, which I don't think we have any of. From 16-strand, they jumped up to a 24-strand. From 24, they jumped up to 32. They now have 48 strands. The strands are where they're counting the strands in the outer jacket. The number of strands depends on how it's going to perform. The higher strands tend to perform better in the mechanical devices, which a lot of people are evolving to. The 3-strand was great. I mean, you tied a taut line, it held really good. It didn't run as much. When they switched over to the braided, the problem with the taut line was it tended to run, which
saddle. All of our equipment and saddles get checked daily by us. We want to make sure that everything's in good working condition, even if it's just sat in the truck overnight. We never know what happens. Okay, let me go with this. So this saddle was one of the guys that worked with us, not worked with us, but it was a tree care judge for the tree worker exam. He was climbing with this. He's only got one leg strap, one's missing. He was using this lanyard, which for one, all of our snaps, carabiners, everything have to be double auto locking. That means it takes 2 distinct motions to open them. Twist it, turn it, it's ready to open. And then it locks and closes automatically. You have a snap. On the snaps, extra snap in there, so it takes 2 distinct, you have to push the back, then the front to open it. So you can see the difference. This one will not open. This one you turn it a certain way and lean on it, it opens. That means you fall. So he was still climbing with this. So what I did is I said, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a brand new saddle and a brand new lanyard if you give me your old one so I could use it for demonstrations. And he was happy about that because I think he ended up in the good end because look what I got. All this other stuff are things that we've taken away from people, just a minimum amount of stuff. Loop slings that they were using that have all this stuff. Does anybody know what all this equipment should be rated at? It's in the ANSI standards. Okay, so every piece of equipment that we use needs to be stamped for its load rating, and it has to be for equipment, carabiner snaps, straps, saddles, 5,000 pounds minimum. Okay, ropes minimum of 5,400 pounds. Now, generally the ropes are a lot stronger than that because of the way they're built. The technology that's gone into them now. Now, there's a lot of math that goes into this to figure out why. Mostly is force. So when you fall, you generate force. So 5,000 pounds is 22.23 kilonewtons. Kilonewtons is a rating. So everything that we use has to be higher than 22.23. This one is
225 pounds.
225 pounds per kilonewton. This is 23 kilonewtons. Now, they also have to be working good. So like this, it stays open. Actually, it won't even open.
Wow. Pass it around?
Yeah.
All right. Just want to see it. You
Other
guys can have
things
a
like
look at.
this.
Oops, I'm sorry. And may I have a look at the double locking snaps?
Other things like this don't have any stamp rating on them, so we have no idea if it's
like
rated to
Pass
hold,
it around too.
5 pounds.
Like
or 10,000
not
pounds.
rated, not to use.
Now I'm going to show you, the difference between a good one and a bad one. Now, if you look up closely on them, they say right on them kilonewtons. This one is 24 kilonewtons. Now, when it comes to kilonewtons, a person generates force when they fall. So, say, let's go with you because I'm not going to tell you my weight, I'm fat. You're 180, 190? 85. Okay, let's go 185. So when you fall, your 180 pounds generates force. The force doubles, triples, depending on how far you fall. So now you could be up to about 1,500 pounds. So you can see why the rope and all of our equipment is rated so high, because we want to make sure that everybody's safe. Now, if there's something that's wrong with the carabiner or the rope, then the strength of it drops. So I mean, there's a lot of math that goes into it. Here's one that works. You can see the difference between the. Now, here's
another one. The drawback to this one is it looks just like those. The only thing is it's 2 motions. So it may look like you can use it. It's rated at 26 kilonewtons, but you can't. They're also coming out with newer ones where the gate's rated, because most of the rating is going to be this direction. this is where you're going to have the tug. These are rated so it can dip inside. The gate's rated at 3,500 pounds. It's acceptable. But you can see how much beefier the gate is. Like I said, this one you can't climb on, these you can.
Now when it comes to force, the human body, once it hits 200 or 2.2 kilonewtons, that's when injuries start to happen. Bones start to break, your innards start to move around. So you can see it doesn't take much force to get hurt. So all this stuff is designed to keep everybody safe. We're finding a lot of things out there that people bought on Amazon that they look the same, but you look at the ratings and they're not rated the same. We found saddles out there. We asked the guy where he got it from. It's like, oh, I got it on Amazon. It said tree climbing saddle. I got it for 75 bucks. And it has no ANSI stamp or standard on it, so nobody knows what they're rated for. That's scary, you know. And people are buying this stuff. Yes.
I just wanted to say, put kind of force into perspective. When we were at Petzl, we did a drop test on one of their ropes with their zigzags, one of their mechanical devices, and we did a 200 pounds,
225 pounds.
225 pounds at a 4-foot free fall. So that's, you know, just falling. If you had slack in your line and you slip off a branch and you fall, you know, 4 feet, doesn't seem like much. But 225 pounds falling from 4 feet was 11 kilonewtons of force on that point. So like he was saying, between 2 and 4 kilonewtons on the body, you have, you know, catastrophic like internal damage. So even a 4-foot fall is way above that threshold.
Now, at 4 feet on a double rope is just past your knees. So it's because it's 2 feet down, 2 feet up. So it's not much slack in your rope. I think I got off track there a bit. So, you know, we want to make sure everybody's safe and know they check and know their equipment. I'm going to backtrack a little bit. Some of the things that we use every single day. We have to have our PPE. What is PPE? Good job. What is it? What stuff? Helmet, safety glasses.
If you're using a
Chainsaw. I have chainsaw pants on. And we have chainsaw chaps. On the ground, chainsaw chaps. Super important. We'll get to that in a minute. Otherwise, I digress and start telling stories about how many injuries there are. So all of our personal PPE is super important. Helmets get checked every day. If they've taken an impact, they need to be retired. Generally, if you're working all the time, helmets last about 5 years, but Petzl has said that anything of theirs made of plastic has a 10-year lifespan. But you gotta take into perspective, you know, sunlight, UV rays, how much it's used, how dirty it is, make sure there's no cracks in it. So it's all gonna be checked. Your safety glasses fall under a different standard. What? What am I going to say it? Yes! Yeah, it says right on the safety glass. So, good job. Super smart class, huh? So right on the glasses, it says Z87 on them. That means they're rated for safety. So all this stuff, I mean, it all falls under the ANSI. That's why we follow all this stuff. One of the biggest injuries in our industry is struck bys. That's why all this stuff's super important. If your helmet takes an impact, did anybody watch NASCAR? Yeah. What have they put in on the side of the roads, on the corners, to make their drivers safe now? Safer barriers. Safer barriers. It's a double wall with foam triangles on the sides, which is the same foam as this. What it does is it takes an impact, but once it's taken an impact, you have to replace it. Same with the safer barriers. Once a car hits it, they yank those pieces out, put new ones in there, it's ready to go again. But it dissipates the impact. like that helmet?
Yeah, that really was.
You'll never see this one again. One of a kind. I know I am. Oh, he said it then.
Prototype?
What's that?
Was it a prototype or something?
Okay, I'll tell you a story about it. So, I know I will, because I love telling stories. Cask, they're some good friends of mine, is when they change the colors in the extruding machine, from like white to blue or blue to red, 11 helmets come out in different colors. None of them are the same. And what they used to do is throw them away. Well, they figured, they saw them come out and they're like, not one of them's the same, and they make these cool designs. So they put out 11 of them, and each one of them's different. And guess who got one? And they were only going to put them out for 1 year, but they might actually start selling them, but we never know. So I'm happy about this. That's why I wore it today. So yeah, the foam, if it takes an impact, it's got to be retired and taken out of service. What we do when we retire a piece of equipment, I personally, Jeff probably does too, we take it home and throw it in our garbage can. Because if we put it in the garbage can at work, what happens? Somebody finds it and ends up on another truck, and it's dangerous. Harnesses and stuff will cut up and destroy. That way it can't be used again. It can't be sold at a yard sale. I mean, this stuff, if it's not good for work, the guys should be taking it home or using stuff, ropes to rig stuff with. So a lot of this stuff, all this stuff is designed to keep everybody safe and for a reason. So I think he's got that set up. So the way climbing started was a guy would take a rope, hemp rope, throw it over a branch, tie it and make a saddle. And tie it around himself, and then tie what's called a top line. You get a blade or top line? And then, even when they did like the Hoover Dam and stuff, they used those. Now, what happened at the Hoover Dam is rocks started to fall, so guys would put leather things on top of their head, and then they would form them in water to make makeshift helmets to try to protect themselves. Stuff kept evolving from there. Then we went to regular helmets, like a construction helmet over there. Yep, there's a white one in there somewhere. And now helmets have evolved. A lot of stuff has evolved from rock climbing. We use helmets, tree climbing helmets with chin straps, because once you get up in the tree and the helmet falls off, you cannot protect it. So climbing started, then somebody put a clip or snap on
your gear. So this is the first system that they came out with. This is the top line. The problem with the top line is every time you load the top line, the tail keeps going in and in and in. Your knot's getting farther and farther away from you. Eventually, by the end of the day, you can't reach it. That's why you have to put a figure 8 on the back end of this. This one I don't have to because it has an eye. It's going to stop it when it hits the knot. I can double it. I can back it up with a carabiner to make sure it doesn't go through. But to begin with, how the guys would do it is it was simple. You just pull down. Now you got to hold your weight to slide your knot up. Pull down, slide up. You can body thrust by putting your feet up and using that, but you still got to hold yourself.
So it's not so much pulling yourself with your arms. You'll get super tired with that. It's your hips go up. It's called body thrusting.
So you're going to be basically,
and the higher you get your feet, the more slack you get your rope by putting your hips up and getting some slack, and then pushing the knot up. Now, as you can tell, that's super exhausting.
The other drawback to it is now if I want to recross, go over another branch, now I got to untie this.
While he's putting a split tail on there, then some genius thought, well, it's too much trouble to untie this and move it every single time. Do you have a split tail? There's one right there. Okay. Some genius decided I'm going to cut another piece of rope and do the same thing, but with a different knot, what's called a Blake's hitch. It's a little more advanced, not the same concept, 4 wraps, but it's done in a different configuration. The nice thing about it is it doesn't roll back into itself when your weight's on it. Well, he's tying that. I want to show you something. So we were talking about how stuff's not manufactured, but made to and rated. So when I was at a branch one time, you're gonna like this. There was. These are ionized lanyards. Prusik, ionized. There's an I and an I. These are machine stitched, called grizzly stitching, and done by a machine, and they're tested, rated, pulled. You can see that's super strong. So a guy saw one of those and said, "Hey, my wife sews." And I found them climbing on these.
Wow.
Some of them were only held by 3 stitches.
Wow.
I instinctively lost my crap.
Yeah.
Asked them where the rest of them are. I found 9 of them. I don't know how many more were out there, but I found 9.
Wow.
That's the last one. I destroyed all the other ones, but I should have. Yeah.
How much money do you think you were saving? Because that's why they do it, right?
Yeah.
But it's your life.
I know, no.
You
I
know,
mean,
it's
like,
your
like,
life.
Yes.
Like what
Wow.
was the value of his life?
Yeah.
These are $20.
Yeah.
20, yeah.
And that's probably 15 feet of beeline, $15 a beeline. Say $5.
Wow. Wow.
So you can see, I mean, people try to get innovative, and I mean, you can make those by tying knots,
Right.
like a double fisherman or a fisherman knot on each end, which holds real well, which is perfectly fine. But it's got to be a knot that's tested and works, and that's not just 2 loops and an overhand knot. It has to be a good knot. And knots have evolved all from where? Marine. Yeah. A lot of the knots we use today are from marine knots, because sailors have been tying knots from the beginning of time, since they started sailing. So they're good knots. They're tied only one way. But yeah, I mean, that's stuff that it's amazing how much people are innovative and. Oh yeah, there you go. But the problem with this one. Oh, does it? Your tail is supposed to be 5 times the diameter of the rope. So it should be about that long. Even though he's got little things on there. They're cute. Oh. I mean, that's a general rule of thumb for knots, is if you're tying a knot, the tail that sticks out should be 5 times the diameter of the rope. So, some genius decided to add an extra piece of rope to his system.
So the main advantage of piece of rope right now, if I buy a 120-foot piece of rope and I'm tying with my tail, I'm taking 6 feet off of that, so now I'm down to 114 feet. Every time I glaze that rope and I cut that off, my climbing line keeps getting shorter. That won't happen with the split tail because I'm using a separate piece of rope. So, split tail, this is the Blake. Blake's going to be faster coming down, but it's
same concept to climb with.
same concept as the trot line. So you just body thrust up, put the slack in it, slide it up. Body thrust up, slack.
Now with knots, it's not sliding anymore, but there's a thing called CDS. Tie it. What do you think about it? You tie the knot, you dress it, and set it. So you tie it and then put it where all the pieces of the rope are aligned in the right place, and then set it in place and tighten it up. Once it's set, you can sit on it, test it, and it works.
Once it's set, you can look up. The other advantage to the split tail is if I need to go over another branch, I'll lanyard in. This stays on the rope. I don't have to keep retying my knot. I can throw this over the next branch.
So it just makes things a step easier.
Another advantage of the split tail.
You can split your load so you
I can get out of my, I can work away from my load.
So that's kind of neat. I mean, and all this stuff has been, I mean, in the last, I'd say 15 years, has advanced so much. Another way that people used to get up in trees is they used to footlock. Now, footlocking was done with your saddle, and what you do is you take the rope, put the rope on your foot, and stand on it, and you go up. Now, they used to do that unsecured, all the way up the tree. They'd get to where they are, stand on a branch, then put their lanyard on.
So basically it's...
Yeah, get both of those.
And you stand. Yeah. And then you go up.
Each time. Then, you know, people got smarter and started being secured and using like a prusik cord tied to them, so it's called secured footlocking now. It's a lot safer, but the knot is a one-way knot. It's only an up knot. And once you get to where you're going, you put your climbing line on, and then you start working. It's a very quick way to get up into the tree. Then things advanced. People started tying knots like the ironized like that, and making these prusiks. Now, there's a lot of knots that can be tied with this the ionized prusik.
Want me to? Okay.
So the prusiks can be tied in a lot of different configurations. Now the nice thing about this, you remember how he had to advance his knot when he body thrusted. Well now, so then they came out with single line. Now the advantage of this is when you climb on a double rope system, for every foot that you hold, you only go up 6 inches. Okay? Now the nice thing about this is it's quicker. For every foot you go up, you go up a 2 foot.
Good.
The other nice thing about this is on single line, you can go over as many branches as you want, and your friction is right there next to your hand. See that little red thing called the rope wrench? If you were to climb on just the knot would bind up so tight that you can't get it undone. And if you do, it might slip, and it could burn, and then get where you end up. Well, on the ground, or you end up burning the ropes together and you're stuck where you're at. So some, what was his name?
Kevin Bingham?
Kevin Bingham figured out that just by adding this bit of friction in there, which puts a 90-degree bend in the rope, is just like going over a branch. So it puts just enough friction so this knot doesn't bind up, which makes it nice to climb on. The nice thing about it is no matter where you go over a branch, over another branch, you're not creating friction, unlike with a double rope. If you start to go through the tree and go over separate branches, now you're dragging friction. And friction is, it is and it isn't your friend. When you're tired in a tree and you're trying to pull yourself up or move, the more friction you have, the more energy you're wasting, and it gets frustrating. Here, your friction is always right here. You can go all over the tree, over branches. You can put different tie-ins above you, so your tie-in points above you. And then they came out with several different single-line pieces of equipment.
Yeah.
The newest one is the zigzag. You don't really have to put it on. I mean, you can.
Well, I'm going to make him climb on it.
Okay.
He hasn't climbed enough yet.
Another one is what's called the akimbo. The nice thing about this is, see how he's putting that one on? It's got to go on for the end of the rope, and you have to pull the whole rope through. The akimbo is a midline attachment. Put the rope in, and it also has a bunch of adjusters in it to adjust it for friction. You want more or less.
So that's basically just a mechanical prussing. It's going to do the same thing as your prussing. You touch it, you come down, it puts the bend in the rope so that you can release it. Bino's going to demonstrate it now. He's never been on it before, so.
Before we go any further, any questions so far?
There's snacks and water over there if you guys want. There's fruit. There's.
You know, the tragedy you mentioned in Florida, do you think safety would have needed a motive?
I think.
Now you're going to fall in love with it.
I think there's.
You think so? Maybe. Well, it feels
I
smooth.
bought that yesterday. I'll tell you about it in a bit. So, I think it has to do with
Small carabiner to
trees are
You're going to put.
really
Can I?
have to know
Well, if I clip through the carabiner, will it work?
Yeah, it will. The carabiner's going
All right,
to push it.
I'll try it.
Who knows what included bark is?
This is a lot
Included
of,
bark is
it has a lot of spring, doesn't it?
Yep.
You can't be tied. So what happened was he tied into one spur. Okay?
John.
He tied into one spur and rigging pieces off the other one. Now what happened is he was rigging a branch over here. He was down cutting it. Well, when it came loose, the part that he was rigging off that the included bark snapped out. The fork came down, caught him on the back of the head, and killed him. He was basically kneeling in the tree. And they had to call a crane company in to get the rest of the tree off.
Close the. Put your hand here and just control the top.
Knowledge of the tree. You have to know the mechanics of it. You have
Break
to know
the
what
top
type
to
it
it.
is.
You don't squeeze the whole thing down.
All right.
I spent the summer with my
That's
father-in-law.
spooky.
Let me tell this story.
Oh, there you go.
See?
Climbing oak trees. Summertime is when you
That was
shoot
good.
oak trees because they're growing up.
Ready to go up on the akimbo now?
You know, I'd climb out on branches.
All right.
Little branches out here. No problem, because I know the oak is strong. Well, somebody called us to trim their cottonwood tree in the middle of the summer. And I was out on a branch. And I was out, trim it, and all of a sudden that thing went, crack, it popped out from under me. I didn't think anything about it because I was like, what the heck? Yeah, I mean, you have to know trees. Some trees are softer wood, some are harder wood. Know where they're decayed. It's dead. You know, try not to climb higher than the dead spot. And that's that east. Emerald ash borer. What are some of the things that they focused on emerald ash borer?
So they were doing some testing on trees that died from emerald ash borer infestation, and they're finding that the density of the wood, the structural integrity of it is the same as styrofoam.
Wow.
So, I mean,
We had to go on a 5-to-1, so it's for a 5-inch branch now only has the strength of a 1-inch branch.
Wow.
you gotta know all this stuff. And it doesn't. One thing that I keep telling my class, I tell my grandson before is, no matter what, you don't know it all. And there's guys out there that are just so, especially in the teachers, they're all
Joe, grip
out
this.
there and they know it all. Nothing can hurt them. But you don't. So much to know, so much to learn, and constantly learning. And that's kind of why we usually go to classes, learn. But to find that out about those trees is amazing. To find out
Huh?
about trees, I just find trees.
Just go for it or wait.
It's similar
Clip
here
there.
with the polyphagus shopper. They're finding on some sycamores that are, because they go all the way through the branch. It's kind of like a perforated cake. So they're finding people that set their lines as high
I
as
didn't
they can.
do that very good, did I?
What branch you're going around, you don't know what the integrity is. So they've had several people fall on the tree.
And that's where a lot of our injuries are coming from. Well, with the single line, these guys are shooting. What you generally want to do is keep your rope as high as you can in the tree and work your way down when you're trimming. Because you have a good pendulum, you can work your way out, get around the tree, and you work your way from the top down. So these guys are shooting to the top of the tree as high as they can, and you can't see what they're on. So now what we're trying to teach guys is you know, bring it down for them. Don't go for that branch, because you don't know what you're up there. A lot of times you get up there and go, well, I did. It was fine this time. So, you're gonna use the akimbo, really?
We're gonna try.
Okay.
So,
We'll see.
the akimbos, everybody waited 5 years for this one to come out.
A lot of people are still waiting for it.
Now the weird thing about this, I mean, it's a great piece of equipment. For one, the friction's dialed in for me, just so you know.
Yeah, not for me, huh?
There you go.
Oh, it unclipped.
Supposed to. That way it doesn't break away from you. 'Cause you're
I'd
leaning too
stop
far
right
back.
there.
Yeah, that's-
Right there?
Yep. The neat thing about this one is it's
Turn me a
line
little.
attachment,
There we go. There.
and you can use it on a
Wait,
double
hold
line.
it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, here goes. So hopefully I don't die.
Just hit the ground as hard as you can. Show 'em
That's
what
the
not
thing,
to
huh?
do.
You gotta use two hands, pull.
Two of it?
There you
All right.
pull, pull, pull.
All right.
Once it hits the other one, then it starts coming down.
Okay, cool. Woo.
Your safety lanyard is captured in your leg strap, by the way.
Thank you. Oh.
So there's so many things that are coming out now. But what always works is when we teach climbers, they have to learn the basics first. Because with all this neat stuff that gets pricey and makes climbing easier, none of it works if you drop it from the top of the tree and you're stuck up in the tree. You still have to know how to tie a basic climbing system. Or if you're up there and you want to do a double tie-in, one branch to the other to stabilize yourself, try a Blake's hitch or something on the other side. That way you can have a little more control. Or you can buy two akimbos. Yeah. A lot of this stuff is super pricey. And so there's a lot of different. Okay, so now they make things even easier. So they make this cool piece of equipment called a Ronin. They made another one which was gas powered, but it was only one way. You can only go up on it. This one that they've made is called the Ronin. You guys all get a chance to use this too. Come on.
Now it's all good.
Yeah. So you can go up.
That's the way to do it.
Once you get up there, you can switch to put a lanyard on, switch your climbing line, and go to work. Now the nice thing.
Whoa.
Yeah. No. Okay, so one thing that.
Hey, so what happened to that tail?
Interrupt me anytime because I talk so
How come
much.
it got short? Oh, is that the other end?
Say, hey, let's take a break.
Oh,
because
okay.
I'll go on all day. And another thing is, if you have a question, generally, if you're thinking it, someone else is also.
So I've gotten a little bit of rock climbing, and I work for the Boy Scouts, so we do like challenging outdoor personal experiences, and we, ropes, blah blah blah. It's all standard and dialed in. There's not all this innovation. So when I'm looking at all these gadgets and different ways of doing it, I was wondering, is Andy testing all these? Because I'm like, I don't know if I would trust that single thing. It looks easy, but who tested it? Like I just can't imagine that.
Everything is sent to a
Independent lab.
independent lab. Every piece of equipment that we use is stamped, certified, and has been tested.
So there's like, because it just makes me, I'm sitting here and I'm like,
Yeah,
seems like
and that's
everybody's
why.
coming up with new things.
And that's why Akimbo, it took so long for it to come out. It took like 5 years for them to go through all the testing for them to be able to use it. Like the rope wrench also. It took, what's his name, Bingham? About 5 years, Kevin Bingham, going through all the hoops and to get it all.
But they made a lot of machining. They did a lot.
Yeah, so
Like
it's
you said,
all.
It took 5 years for it to come out.
But you know what I mean? Like with rock climbing, like if you're sending somebody's baby up to go fly down a zip line or something like that, you're not messing with new inventions every 2 years. You know what I mean? Like, and I just feel like.
And everything that I mean, there are other things out there. I don't know of too many things that aren't that we use.
Everything has to be standard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but everything we use has been tested, is stamped, it's under standards. The ropes are independently tested. They go through pull tests.
A lot of the same manufacturers that supply rock climbing, like Petzl, is one of our biggest suppliers as well. So it goes through the same testing that they do for rock climbing, they do for us, and
Because the thing with Petzl is they won't design something unless they can cross over into 2 inches.
Yeah.
They want to make the money on both inches.
And then my second question is somebody keeping, like, is there like an overarching database of what happened with those 187 people that lost their lives? Like
The tree care industry,
Yeah.
TCIA,
Yeah.
follows all incidents and accidents. They put out a report every month of what happened, how it happened, and then from there they build a database, but they also cross over to with the ANSI so they can build on the ANSI standards in the next 5 years when they review it to do it over again. There's all in that book, in the standards, is everything from how far away to stay from electrical lines to, how to use a winch on the chipper. I mean, you name it, it's on there. Just about everything that you can think of in that we do. What safety glasses we use, everything. And
so is most of the, like, do you know already kind of like a general, like, what's the most common thing that causes people to lose their life? Is it just
struck bys.
What's that?
Struck bys. Something either falling out of a tree, somebody cutting something, falling,
Or even a car.
or even a car. Yeah, somebody being struck by something.
So it's not a matter of not following the standards. It's just like
It's
crap happens. Basically, it's not. Okay. Because I was hoping maybe some of it was like
that's
negligence or machoism or not following.
There is that as
there
well.
there is that, and that's what we were talking about, the high tie-in points.
Yeah.
I can get all the way up there and climb up there and work the tree, but that's what we're finding, that some of these, not as many as you think, but more people have been falling from stuff like that. But there's always been the biggest hazard is being struck by a guy picking up brush, not paying attention to the climber, and he cuts a branch, it falls and hits him.
One of the latest things is the battery-powered saws. To go back to battery-powered saws, you're on the ground, you can't hear it in the tree.
Yeah.
Before, you'd always hear the engine revving as they're cutting. They're cutting, stay out, and drop them. Now, unless the climber yells down, like he's supposed to, the guys on the ground don't know.
So we have clear command and response that you're supposed to use. All clear, or headache. Mostly it's all clear, and then you don't do anything until you hear an all clear. Then the person is out of the way and the area is clear. You're also supposed to have, in the standard, you're supposed to have a work zone set up, so nobody goes through there. That's why there's signs, there's distance for signs, traffic control. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it. So, struck by.
When do you use a crane and when do you actually climb the tree?
Cranes can be used anytime. It makes the job a lot faster, but they get a bit pricey. Some companies own their own cranes, some rent them. Well, rent them with a worker, and they can use them with a bucket in combination with a bucket truck. They can tie it off, and then the bucket truck cuts, crane lifts it, takes it over, and there's a set of people over there that chip it, bucket up, and chip it.
I meant the bucket truck.
Oh, bucket
Yeah,
truck.
sorry.
Bucket trucks.
Accessibility most of the time.
Yeah, accessibility and also money. A bucket truck generally runs about $175,000, and some people can afford a lot of bucket trucks. Some people can just climb all the time.
How much of your work in the city is
I think it was about 180.
Yeah. And how much of the work is done in the bucket compared to the guys climbing?
Majority.
Yeah.
Majority.
Because you
You're
have
doing
the
street trees.
Because
You can get a lot more done in buckets. If it's accessible, you can get a lot more work done. You can get,
especially when you're
climb.
doing like municipalities or parking lots, bucket trucks can get in there and get through the stuff really quick.
Because Philip made it look easy, but it took us, 10 tries to get the rope set exactly where we
Well,
wanted it
you're
this morning?
using your gas powered.
Your slingshot didn't work too much better. But we hit where we thought, but we took it out because we didn't like where it was sitting on other branches, and we couldn't get it set just right.
And that's it. So you guys saw how to get that air powered thing. So to install a line into the rope, into the trees, what they used to do is they used to take a rope. Aerial rescue is something that we practice annually. It's in the ANSI standards. Everybody that does tree work has to be CPR certified and aerial rescue annually. So we go around the country and teach to all our guys. The reason being, I'll get to your question in a second. The reason being is it takes anywhere from 45 minutes to 2.5 hours to get somebody out of a tree. That's a long time if you're injured. We can generally do a rescue in 3 to 5 minutes. About 75% of all accidents happen at about 25 to 30 feet. That's industry-wide. That's not just in tree care, but a lot of accidents on like scaffolding, stuff like that, 25, 30 feet. Don't know why. I seem to think when people are working, it's like at the end of the day, you're almost done, I'm gonna get one more branch, I'm tired, and that's when accidents happen, when you're tired and you're not thinking right. Yeah, you want to do 2 double rope?
Yeah. You want to do double rope or you want to do
Sure,
single?
double rope, cool.
Or you guys and to get to your question, it depends on the situation. So a tree like this.
Go, Dougie, go, go.
A lot of things that we do also is when guys do call for emergency, they ask the fire department for a high angle rescue. The reason being is you call 911 but they just want to show up with a small fire truck or not a ladder truck. High angle rescue lets them know guys that have rope access experience, maybe your biggest bucket truck or a ladder truck or even a platform truck, a big bucket, where they can put a man basket, lay the guy down it.
I'm gonna flip with that when that pops.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a little rescue. Doug's gonna go up. Can.
Want them on a bit of rope now.
He pops on that. That is gonna be crazy. That's kind of, that's what kind of pull I mean. Alright. See if I can get up. Hopefully I don't hit you.
That's okay.
Okay.
You want me on the other side?
No, you're good. I'm gonna walk up the back maybe. Ready to start? Am I waiting for him or?
I don't know.
You ready? Yeah? Alright, here we go. Uh-oh, watch out, Doug! Ah, Doug! Ah! I'm gonna burn you. Dude, I didn't do my tree inspection. I'm gonna hurt you. Hang on, I'm gonna go to the other side. Hang on.
I think we need another rescue.
Hang on. Shh. Sorry guys. I'm gonna try to go up the back side so I don't hit Doug. Doug, I'm on my way. I'm gonna help you. Almost there. And I'm coming to make my way toward him. Check him out. All right, Doug. I'm gonna bring you down. You all right? Yep. All right. Manipulate both knots.
So what he's done, he's also taken his land and safety land.
Cool.
That way, if anything's wrong with Doug's rope, he could have, that way he wouldn't fall.
Ta-da.
Oh, I feel better already.
Now, if the fire department had been here, they could have put a gurney underneath, they could lower him right on the gurney.
We're going to the rescue.
75 and all, about a year, I jumped 190 pounds. But Roberto Mojica has my rescue dummy and he's going to use it Friday. Hey, Renta. Why don't we take a quick break?
Some guys still do this.
Take a rope and you make a few loops and you take it through and you can throw it up over a branch. Now, I could probably get it to the couple lower branches here. Friend of mine, Vern Strasser, the crane guy you guys use. Strauss. He holds the world record for throwing a rope up into a tree 75 feet.
Whoa.
What is it? Strom Edwards. Yeah. That's it. I was thinking Bettis. He was like this and threw it behind him. 75 feet.
But Strom's also what?
9 feet tall.
Yeah, exactly.
So he was halfway there. Then they went to using they take a lead weight inside of a bag.
You know, I told you that thing.
And tie it to a string. And you can do it several different ways. You can tie a little knot in your rope.
Slip your in.
And you take it and you throw it up into the tree, get it over a branch higher. So now you get higher in the tree, and then you pull your rope up from tying from the other end. The other thing is there's several different ways you can do it. Go away. You take it, put it like that, throw it up in the tree, and get it pretty high. And then people are super smart. You know, we're just, advancing monkeys. And then they come out with this cool little gadget.
Well, originally it didn't have the trigger, so you'd have to sit and hold it, and you're trying to aim it at the same time you're holding it, so then they came out with the trigger for it.
Let's play with this. So what you do is aim, you're going to reach down the road. The car is up down there. What you do is you aim it to where you're going to go. Now this thing's not set super tight, but you aim it to where you're going to go, pull the trigger. That's probably 75 to 100 feet. They make an air-powered one, as you saw. Get it over the branch you want. Pull your rope up. For the bigger trees, they use crossbows. Now, when you get these things, they come with instructions. And it says only shoot throw balls. Well, said not to shoot anything else. Apples, golf balls go good. Super bouncy balls are the best. We'd by my house we would have the kids way down. We used to live next to a school, and we'd have the kids when they were little on their bikes way down at the other end of the school parking lot. We'd shoot. My father-in-law and I used to sit in the backyard with drinking beer, and we'd shoot the ball, go up, it hit the ground, poof, go up another 100 feet. I think the kids would find it and bring it back to us, and we'd do it again. Good day's entertainment. But yeah, so it's a good way to get your rope up in the tree, get it nice and high. It's pretty accurate. As you can see, we got it pretty high. Otherwise, you have to get your rope part way up and then climb up to where you're going and advance your rope. It takes a little bit of time. The nice thing about getting it a little higher in the beginning is you want to get up there and get to work as quickly as possible, using as less energy as possible once you get up there.
That's why the foot ascenders and the knee ascenders work a lot better.
It makes your job a lot easier getting up there, because if you're spent by the time you get up there, you're just going to take a lot of time to trim the tree.
You're more likely to have an accident.
Yeah.
So, you guys want to take a break?
Let's climb some trees.